Okay, so as most of you know that I'm majoring in economics and health science, healthcare administration. Today I'm going to tell you about how a girl who always wanted to be a pediatrician ended up on the administration side and why that is perfectly okay to switch your mind. So it all started with a good friend of mine, Addie, and although we grew apart as she moved to a different state when we were young, she really influenced my life, and it's something that's impacted me every day since. Addie and I had everything in common despite her being a year older than me. And our biggest thing in common is that we both love to run. And whether it was from point A or point B, our parents said we were running. No matter how far that distance we would be running to it. And Addie and I demonstrated this love for running every day when we got off the school bus. We would run to my mailbox. One day, I noticed Addie wasn't breathing right by my side when I got to the end. And I knew it wasn't because I was faster than her, because I wasn't. So I turned around and I saw Addie lying on the ground about midway through. And I knew exactly what happened because this is what my parents, her parents, everyone crammed into my brain. Addie has epilepsy. If she falls, you have to go get help for her. So I ran to her side and I sent my little brother to go get my parents. And as I was sitting there with her, I knew immediately that this adrenaline rush, this wanting to help her, was the reason why I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to work in healthcare. I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. So Addie's epilepsy is, I don't know all the different kinds of epilepsy, but she has tonic seizures. So essentially they're called drop attacks. They last about 10 seconds, and they occur randomly. And although they don't really harm her brain at all, it's more of she doesn't know when they'll happen, where she'll be, what her head could possibly hit when she fell. And this is the biggest thing that impeded her life. This inhibited her every single day. She didn't know where she would be when she would fall, so she had to inform everyone because she didn't know who she'd be around. Growing up, she was kind of seen as almost an outcast because she was different. She had epilepsy. Everyone knew her as Addie, the girl with epilepsy, not Addie, the girl just like us. She wasn't allowed to do contact sports. I know we all started t-ball when we were younger. Her parents didn't want her in that. She was really inhibited with what all she could do about it, and just by looking at her, you wouldn't know that about her. This is how I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. I want to help kids like Addie. I want to help them feel more involved, be able to provide them the treatment, kind of destroy that separation between the two. It wasn't until we're older and she was moved off to Utah by then, but I realized maybe the administration is the side that is more for me. I learned about this procedure, and Addie ultimately didn't get this procedure, and I learned why. So her seizures, you have your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere, and they're connected via the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum transmits information from one side to the other, so your brain essentially can work as two, although it's as one, although it is kind of two. So her seizures would occur in one hemisphere, it doesn't matter which one, and by the corpus callosum, they'd go to the other hemisphere, essentially making the seizures double as bad. So Addie, if she had this procedure done, it's called corpus callosectomy. It would cut the corpus callosum in two, so it would make her seizures not as bad. They wouldn't be as severe. She didn't get this procedure for the reason that it would inhibit her even further than she already has been held back because of her epilepsy. Because if this was cut, even though her brain is telling her, reach out, grab that with your right hand, her left hand or her right hand may never reach for that because that information would never be processed. For this reason, Addie and so many patients never get corpus callosectomy done, and for this reason, I decided maybe the administration, the policy side, is where I'm supposed to be. In this world, we have this perception that healthcare is on top of the world, and it is. We are so much more advanced than what we used to be. But how come people like Addie, we don't have a treatment for yet? How come people's voices are silenced every day, or you can't receive treatment because you don't have the money, you don't have the funds, when we're supposed to be these humanitarian individuals that are providing care to everyone? Every day voices are silenced, and I want to advocate for those voices, for those people who can't advocate for themselves. People every day are harmed by this, by our technologies being limited to those with money, to those with wealth. And I think that should be changed. I think health policy is my spark, that's my passion. And although it's not the one-on-one care that the pediatrics would provide me, and we definitely need doctors. But I don't know if personally I would be able to live with myself every day knowing that I am selectively treating patients. We need research going into this, and every day and every experience, whether it's the health care like I am or whatever, we all have different majors, we find that passion within us. And whether you found it when you were 10 years old or you'll find it in 30 years from now, it's important that we take every experience day by day and we learn from each one, because you don't know who it is, where you'll be, or what you meet. But we'll all find that passion, and we have the powers to change the world. So let's change the world.